Next on Worcester News Tonight, Worcester police are investigating a body found in the city as a homicide. Plus, a Worcester man faces a judge. He's charged in a violent home invasion, but he says it was self-defense. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. Investigators are on scene as Worcester police continue to look into a body found in the city Monday morning. The discovery was made on Cambridge Street near a Salvation Army donation bin. Our Cam Jandro joins us now live from the scene with the latest. Cam?
Yeah, Anna, still a lot of questions at this time, but if you have a look behind me, you can see investigators are still on scene going through some things here at the Salvation Army on Cambridge Street, looking for potential evidence. Right now, there's still many investigators here, and earlier today we caught it with the Worcester Police Department, who say they're investigating this as a suspicious death just because they have to. Yellow tape surrounds the Salvation Army on Worcester's Cambridge Street after a body is discovered.
We responded to the scene. We confirmed that there was a deceased person here near the donation bin at Salvation Army on Cambridge Street.
Worcester police say the body was discovered just before 10 a.m. Monday morning and was reported by Salvation Army warehouse workers. Police did not say whether there was foul play or not, but investigators are examining the case at all angles.
They're processing it as if it were a homicide. We're not saying that it's a homicide. Right now it's an unintended death and that's it. But we have one chance to process the scene and do so thoroughly and professionally, so that's what we're doing now.
Monday evening, the body was loaded into the van of the Chief Medical Examiner's office. Police not sure of the identity of the deceased or the cause of death.
Just anything, any area the person could have been, looking for all the usual things, DNA and the like. And for something that is a potential homicide, it does take quite a while to process, and we want to do a thorough job because we have one chance to do it and get all the evidence we can.
Now, again, the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner has accepted this case. There will be an autopsy within the next few days. Still no idea on the gender or any identification on the body that was found here. Live in Worcester tonight, Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
Dudley police are investigating a theft at a Dunkin' Donuts. The suspect allegedly made away with some money meant to help people with disabilities. Police in Dudley are searching for these two people who walked into Dunkin' Donuts on West Main Street and allegedly stole a jar full of money.
So what had happened was, it appears a man and a woman had come into the establishment, had ordered some food, kind of milled around, and they waited for an opportunity when no one was looking, and they took the donation jar that was on the counter.
According to police, the Dunkin' Donuts employees aren't allowed to accept tips. Instead, customers are encouraged to put money in the donation jars. The dollars were meant for the Knights of Columbus organization, who then donates the money to people with disabilities.
A grant can be, from anywhere, for a chairlift, for a van. It can be a ramp into a house, a wheelchair ramp. It can be like lifts within the house for the kids. If they can't move, it's geared towards stuff like that. Plus the intellectual disability, we also give to that.
Michael Lesperance is state secretary for the Massachusetts Knights of Columbus. He was saddened to hear the news.
It's very heartbreaking because I've actually witnessed this, some of the grants that we do with this money, for some of the disabled kids. So it's heartbreaking.
If people have to take something like that, how desperate are they to do that? So that begs the question. But really, you're harming and hurting other organizations.
Despite the incident, Lesperance says this won't stop them from continuing their mission.
We have to look at it that we can make this up somehow. We will not give up. We will not let them deter our efforts in raising money for kids with intellectual disabilities.
If you have any information, you're asked to contact Dudley Police. Switching gears now, the renovation of the former Worcester County Courthouse will be delayed until the spring. The Telegram and Gazette reporting the project, which was announced in June of 2017, is slated to start in the next few months. The developer doesn't have the necessary financing for the project yet. The developer's lawyer tells the Telegram Trinity Financial expects to have the rest of the finance for the more than $50 million project in the early part of the year. A Worcester man appears in court today facing several charges. Police say he held a victim at gunpoint during a home invasion in Webster, but his lawyer says it was self-defense. Our Brittany Schaefer was at his arraignment today and has the details.
Man faces a judge. Police say he held a gun to a person's head during a home invasion in Webster. Monday, Omar Abu was arraigned on a long list of charges.
Home invasion, assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, assault with a dangerous weapon, assault and battery to collect a loan, carrying without a license a loaded firearm.
According to police, Abu entered the apartment on Lake Street hoping to collect money owed to him. When he wasn't paid, Abu threatened the three men inside with a gun.
Mr. Abu is alleged to have told Mr. Dufresne, "I'm not negotiating, I'm going to shoot you." Police did, as we state, recover that weapon. They did state that it indicated as though there was a bullet jammed in the weapon. There was a malfunction and there was a misfeed.
It appears to be an older style gun. I don't know if it's an antique, if it's classified as such, but it definitely didn't belong to Mr. Abu, so we're working on finding out who the owner is.
According to Abu's defense attorney, he has no previous convictions. He says Abu needed the money for his son's first birthday present, and he only brought the gun for self-defense.
Dufresne actually grabbed him and assaulted him. It was at this point that he had taken out the handgun that he had taken with him for protection.
Deputy Chief Michael Shaw says officers responded to the incident in less than a minute. Abu was arrested without any issues.
Great job by the officers that responded so quickly and got the situation. You know, we got the gun off the street, we got the suspect is in custody, and nobody was injured, and that's probably the most important thing.
Webster police are working to find out who owns the gun. Abu was held without bail. He is due back in court on February 5th. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
A Framingham man appeared in court today facing a charge of lewd and lascivious behavior. It all stems from an incident last week in Sudbury. Police say 26-year-old Amilcar Rivas Rivera exposed himself to a woman while he was sitting in his car at a Sudbury plaza. And prosecutors say this isn't Rivas Rivera's first offense. He was arrested last March at the Natick Mall, accused of masturbating in his car and following a woman. There was a similar incident at Ashland State Park in October. His attorney argues her client is innocent.
This is going to be vetted and hashed out in a court of law. We're going to take some time to get the information and the data that's going to show that he's innocent. He denies these allegations of 1228. The police have decided that he's the person they want to arrest. I myself would like to go out there with an objective view and figure out what happened, what evidence we can find happened at that kiosk at that time on Friday evening.
Rivas Rivera is due back in court next month. The partial government shutdown is in its third week with no immediate end in sight. The longer it goes, the more it may affect people who rely on federal programs in central Massachusetts. Our Chandler Walsh has the story.
It's day 17 of a partial government shutdown, and its effects are being felt in Worcester. With no known end in sight, the Central Massachusetts Housing Alliance is concerned how their clients who receive federal housing assistance will be impacted.
People are furloughed so that, requests for payment and requests for approvals are likely going to slow down.
Executive Director Grace Carmark says the housing troubles don't end there. She says Friday is the first day federal workers won't receive a paycheck and could start to fall behind.
80% of who it's affecting aren't in D.C. They're spread out over the country. They're janitors in our federal housing court right here in Worcester.
Other federal programs like the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program SNAP could also take a hit if the shutdown continues into February.
To add a challenge with food security is just unfair and unkind, and our people in our community deserve better than that.
The Worcester Community Action Council wants their clients to know they're still open and offering services.
We continue to compile other resources for our clients should SNAP benefits not be available, but we dearly hope that it doesn't come to that.
Both organizations say they're staying informed and connected to their partners. They say it's a challenge. There are no clear deadlines when programs will be affected.
It's all a matter as to when these different agencies start to run out of money and personnel.
Now, safe to say the Worcester Community Action Council and Central Mass Housing Alliance will be paying close attention as the president plans to make an address on the shutdown Tuesday night. The WCAC also offers a federally funded fuel assistance program. This won't be impacted because funds were secured before the shutdown. Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
National Grid workers have approved a contract agreement with the utility. The vote puts an end to a lockout. It had more than 1,200 employees out of work since June. There are still few details of the deals between two United Steelworkers unions. The main issues during negotiations had been health care costs and pensions for new hires.